Hello, Aries. How are you? Feeling flexible. Sorry about the delay. I changed houses for the summer, and yesterday was the final in the Europe Cup, and we had some drama, which is not surprising because Mercury moved into Cancer yesterday. So you may notice that communications are a lot more emotional. People's feelings are running high because we now have the Sun and Mercury in Cancer. I don't know about all of you, but last week was hideous. That T-square was awful. Like literally everything I tried to do got blocked. It was just like a week of no, which is very frustrating. But that T-square is starting to separate now, so that's good news. This week we have, or actually today, Mercury is trining Jupiter, so that is very nice in Pisces. Tomorrow, Venus conjunct Mars, good date night. Sun trines Neptune on Thursday, that's also quite romantic because they're both in water signs. And then on Saturday, we have Sun opposite Pluto, which is power games and power maneuvers. But the energy is much more peaceful than last week. Things should be a little bit more flowy than they were, not as obstacled as you may have experienced last week. Anyway, let's get started with the cards for the week. I'm using just, I brought only a few decks with me. So we're going to have like a pared down version for the summer, but I'll be using one deck when I usually use three. So can I get the overall energy for the week of July 12th for Aries? Okay, truth be told. So this is interesting, especially with the Mercury moving into Cancer. This may be you like coming out with it, making admissions, emotional revelations, speaking from the heart, really, letting things come out that, if you've been wanting to tell somebody that you're into them, this might be the week that you do it. It is kind of a loved up week because between the Mercury trining Jupiter and Venus conjunct Mars, Sun trine Neptune, those are pretty rose-colored glasses energies. So maybe feeling a little bit romantic. This is also 5, so it may be actually like maybe you're wanting to communicate how your feelings have changed about a situation. What is the challenge energy for Aries for the week of July 12th? Challenge. Okay, being in the here and now. So you may be, this is also a 5. Interesting. It's a 32. So there may be some challenge about like, it's a turning point, the 5, between the 0 and the 10, which is the beginning and the completion. So this is kind of the turning point, and you may be sort of stuck in the past or worried about the future. And what this kind of says is that, like sort of speak from the heart without necessarily worrying about the past influencing what you're saying or how it's gonna play out in the future. So maybe there's something you're not saying or you haven't been saying because you're like, well, this last time I said this, here's what happened, or I'm afraid if I say this, then in the future this will happen. And this feels to me like this energy here is really about getting it off your chest. Like there's something you need to share with someone else. Now let's get the lesson energy, please. Lesson energy. Oh, okay. Again with the communication. And interesting because this one is a 6. So it's the moment after the 5, a message in a bottle. So there's definitely something that needs to be revealed. Now, if it's not you that needs to be revealed, it's somebody else because the messages are coming to you. So they can be messages about Cancerian topics. So the mother, the home, nurturing, food, family, past issues, past habits, lunar issues. But there is definitely information, whether you are the one speaking it or whether you are the one receiving it. it's incredible. 5, 5, and then 14 and 15. So there's definitely some sequential, something moving forward because it goes from the 14 to 15, from the 5 to the 6. And so just kind of being present with this, speaking from the heart. And also I would say, like, when you receive messages, the messages that come into you, hear them with your lunar energy, right? Not so rational, because actually Venus is going to go into Virgo next week. So there will be plenty of time to be rational and nitpick whatever to death. For right now, I kind of feel like the energy, especially since we have all this water going on, is really just like let it sort of wash over you. Because, you know, it's an emotional message, because the bottle, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of that glare there. The bottle's in the water, it's coming from the water, it's floating on the water. So it's definitely about feels. So there may be somebody who's confessing feelings towards you, or there may be an announcement of pregnancies because we've got that stork there. This is actually quite common. Or some sort of communication about some new birth, right? The stork doesn't always have to bring babies. They can bring new projects. They can bring new partners. They can bring new anything. It's the sign of bringing something new. 6 does tend to be the number of family, so it may be family related. But let's see what else we get here. Okay, 2 of Swords, which is interesting because this shows up right under this Here and Now card, which these are pretty much the same. You know, it's like too focused on the past, too worried about the future, you can end up getting stuck. And you see there's that moon like overshadowing. So if anyone's kind of like stuck in their head, it's one of those things I feel like you want to like feel your way out of it. Let the moon, particularly in this month, let the moon be your guide. Let that sort of feminine side of you, the water, let the water bring you to your next place, because also it's the water that's bringing this message forward, right? It's not like fire energy. It's not the earth energy. It's floating towards its next destination. Oh, okay. Page of Wands. So this is young energy, fiery energy. This is also not really like new beginnings, but like starting something new, having a renewed passion towards something, feeling almost like young and fresh. And that's definitely that Venus conjunct Mars there in Leo. Page of Wands can be fun. Let me see what else we got here. One more card for Aries, please, for the week of July 12th. Okay, that's quite a lot. But I was thinking maybe I should get more cards. So let's see what we have here. All right, very interesting. And I knew this was going to come up. 6 of Cups, because that's kind of related to that. And I'm going to take these next 3 cards as sort of like continuation. So we have the Justice card. And they really line up very nicely. Interesting. Ace of Pentacles. So yes, something being born. And interesting because these kind of line up. Here I would say this is like sword energy, the truth being told. Page of Wands, fire energy. Ace of Pentacles, earth energy. So it's like all across the board, a new beginning, like starting something new, this is sort of swords and cups, I want to say, because what you're communicating is all these little hearts that are flying out from within. So it's like sort of making a wise decision, because of the owl, to communicate emotions about how you feel about something and where you want it to go. So there's like new beginning energy right here. And then we have, I shit you not, another 6. So 6, 6, 6. Definitely being able to, and it's interesting because this card here is about past and, this combination here is about the past and the future. And then we have this here and now card here. So it's like something helping you to, and this also flowing forward. So there may be some kind of communication that like releases you from the past and helps you move forward. Whatever it is, it's a well thought out. It's been well thought out, right? So if you've been thinking about something for a very long time, trying to make up your mind how you feel about something, how you feel about someone, how you feel about a situation, what's the right thing to do here? And maybe you were blocked, particularly with that T-square last week, feeling blocked. This is kind of the time to let it out. And here's something interesting. This is an 11, right? Which is the 5 plus 6, and is obviously one of the master numbers. And this here is the 2, which is in the form of the 11. So you've had this sort of like very big, what do I do, right? Do I stay or do I go kind of clash energy? And it seems to me that you know in your heart of hearts what's the right thing to do. And now it's just a matter of like kind of putting all your ducks in a row, that like once you communicate it, everything else sort of starts to fall into place. Once the swords and the cups line up, so the heart and the head not only line up but are free to express themselves, because this head here, this swords, is not expressing itself. It's not free, and that's why it's blocked. So once you get into this space where you're sort of free to express what you've been thinking about and how you now feel about it, then there's some sort of, it's like everything else aligns perfectly. The fire energy lines up with there, the earth energy lines up with there, and you're able to sort of flow forward to the next place. Either breaking away from a past. Now it could be one of two situations. You may be going back to something from the past, or you may be moving on from something. Either way, it moves forward, right? So if you're going back to move forward with something again, or if you're leaving something, there's definitely a flow, because all these cards here lined up here move out of the reading and onto and since literally I'm looking at the sea right now, they move on to different shores. So it's really kind of about speaking your heart, speaking your mind and your heart, making sure your heart and mind are aligned. I think you know how you feel about a situation. You've been trying to process it for some time mentally, and now is the time to sort of let your heart decide for you which is the right next step. And then being able to communicate that freely, like the fact that you communicate it, gets a huge weight off your chest. Because look at the difference here. She's sitting on this egg, which is like, this is perfect 2 of Swords energy, like waiting for it to hatch, but that door is completely closed, so it's totally blocked. And once this person just like lets the hearts out from within, everything starts moving. There's freedom, and things open up. So it's really definitely about the communication of feelings this week, about how you feel about a situation you've been thinking about for a very long time, and whether you're going to make the decision to go back to it or move away from it. And you may also get, again, if it's not you making this communication, it may be coming in from someone else. So you may get a communication that helps you either release the past or go back to the past, or move on from it. Like either way, there's going to be a moving forward, whether it's going back to pick up the past in order to move forward, or literally just deciding to actually just move away from it. There are concrete steps driven by also the passion that move things forward, because everything feels very new here, very sort of like, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Like this kind of like, I'm going to go for it. Even though it may not make complete sense, I'm going to go for it. I've been thinking about it for such a long time. It's something that I've wanted for a very long time. Like I've had it in my heart, something I care about for a long time. Can be a past relationship, can be children, can be some sort of nostalgia for something that you used to have, that you've been longing and craving for. And now you're really ready to bring it into being, make it happen. Like take the concrete steps that you need in order to get to where you want to go. Leaving behind, like making a wise decision, having thought about it for a very long time, making a wise decision to move forward. Now, let's get a piece of advice here. Ooh. Okay, can I have one card of advice for Aries, please? Okay. Ooh, I love this. And it's like all sorts of pink, remember? So, and I'm wearing pink and I never wear pink. I said it was going to be like rose-colored energy this week. So this one says it's Archangel Gabriel and turquoise, which is a 5th chakra stone. And there's quite a lot of blue showing up here at the top here. It's safe to be seen, right? So like being in a safe space to reveal. Oh, and there's an 11 again. Love it. I love it when the numbers are like confirm. Okay, so here it says, we bring you the gift of safety in being seen. Over lifetimes, you have loved the earth, returning again and again to serve humanity, liberate the human soul from fear, and spread a message of love. You have spoken truths, shared messages, and inspired many. Yet in your visibility, sometimes you have felt misunderstood and vulnerable. You have been admired and loved, but at times also feared and attacked for the empowering message you brought to the world. In you, there is a memory of this, and although you wish to share your light with the world again, there are times when the thought of being seen doesn't feel safe. We are here to let you know that you are protected in divine grace. It is safe to open up to your inner knowledge and to share your message with the world. The light in you is stronger than fear. It's time to shine fearless and bright. Wow. So, all right, so let me read this here. It says, you have many loving words to share and a higher consciousness to be. In your own way, in your own world, in your own relationships, you are a light bearer and bringer of truth. Although you have had past experiences where this was not always well received, and may have sometimes resulted in abusive behavior towards you from those you were afraid of love, you have never closed off from your truth. You still know what you know. You may have become reluctant to share it so freely, but you cannot forget your inner wisdom. This oracle comes to you with a message. It's safe for you to be seen. In this lifetime, you are meant to be a spiritual leader of sorts, to bring through the light, peace, love, and guidance that others around you need. Don't be afraid of their reactions. Some will love you for what you do. Others might not understand or may resist or even attack in fear. But in truth, you cannot be harmed. You shall always be what you are, and no one can ever take that away from you. It is simply not possible. No matter how many times you have been blocked, denied, dismissed, or abused, which was last week, you find your way back to the truth of your heart again and again. So your soul has learned over time that your spirit is indestructible. It has learned that the truth of love is always there for you. Love will always welcome you into its arms, and you can feel at home within your heart, even if you don't always feel at home in the fear-based belief systems that so many consider to be reality. Let me see if there's anything else here useful. Yeah, I'll read this last paragraph here. So you are ready to be seen. You shall not be cast down. The love in you is stronger than the fear, rejection, doubt, or resistance in any other. You have no need to convince anyone of anything. You just have words to speak and truth to be. It is safe to be seen for who and what you are. Let go of fear and take the next step on your life journey right now. Fantastic. So that's literally all the cards on here. It's very much about speaking your truth, but speaking your heartfelt truth, like what you feel in your heart and what you feel in your inner knowledge, right? It's not coming from the head, it's really coming from the feels. So to speak from the heart, to feel free to express yourself, even if in the past people have taking the piss or whatever, that this is a time to be courageous to say what you have to say that comes from the heart, not a head-based decision, but a heart-based decision, which will, sorry, which will unlock for you the next steps. Anyway, I'm going to take that as a clue that it's time to go. Have a lovely week. Talk to you soon.